averaging every 2 years I was changing my job. And after 16 years I said, it cannot be that always I have a bad boss in my job. Maybe, and just maybe, something is wrong with me. And I came to the conclusion that yes, something was wrong, or something was missing in me. And that's why I was always seeking. And I knew that what I was seeking was something spiritual. At that time, I couldn't put the word spiritual. The word I used at that time was I need a purpose in life. I don't know what is my purpose in life, what's my destiny. And I went to different alternatives. I read these self-supporting books, and I went to psychologists and therapies and many of those things. But once I went precisely by the end of the year 1992 to a lunch with some friends that I knew from many years ago, and she said at the lunch at their house that she was having a very good relationship with her daughter, and that her life was changing. And I saw something real in her face, and her daughter was there, and I remember that that daughter was a very difficult young lady. At that time she was 17, and I saw that yes, the relationship they were having was a relationship I was willing to have with my own boys and with my wife. So she said, okay, I'm going to invite you to some Bible study. And I said, okay, yeah, let's do that. It was after a couple of months later that we made an appointment to go to attend to a Bible study. At that time I was very busy getting rich. And the busier I got getting rich, the poorer I got. I don't know why, but I remember it was a Thursday night that my wife went to that Bible study, and I couldn't go because I was having as many meetings to get rich. And what I remember from that night is that I arrived home and very anxious to know what was this Bible study. So I told my wife, you please take notes and you tell me everything you hear, you see, and we had no cell phones, so otherwise I would have told her, please get a video from that. And then she took out her notes and said, it was a talk about how Christian people face problems in life. And I said, I need to hear that. I need to know that, because I have a lot of problems. So she said it was about David and Goliath, and it was this passage in Samuel in the Bible. And I said, wait. So I came down the stairs. I remember that somebody gave me a Bible as a present. So I found the Bible, which I had never opened before, and I looked what was the passage, and it was God's grace that really led me to find the passage. When people say to you, 1 Samuel chapter 18, I mean, at that time I wouldn't know what to do. So I found the passage, I I read the verses, I heard the notes that my wife took, and it was about 10:30 at night, and I said, oh, this is really what I was looking for. This is what we need, and this is so good that I have to be sure that next week I have a place there, as a chair to sit at that Bible study. So I told my wife, please ask, and her name is Patty. Ask Patty to make the reservation for us for next week. And my wife called her and said, okay, there's no problem, you can go there. The preacher is not in Mexico right now, but there's no problem, you can attend. And I said, no, I know this is going to get full of people and so crowded, and I don't want to stay outside. So please call this guy and make the reservation. I don't know if she did, but then she said, I called him. He is in the U.S., in Colorado. It was in April, so probably, or end March, probably he was taking a ski tour. And by the next Thursday, we went there. No. Before that, we went to have breakfast with this man, who is here right next to me, and we never met before, Carlos. It was the first time we met, and then he said, I think your problem is that you have emptiness in your life, and you have to have, how do you say that, get acquainted or be accountable to God, or estar a cuentas to God. And immediately I thought, oh, this friend Patty just told him all of my life. So I didn't like that, but okay. I said, okay, we will come over it. And then I said, he said that I needed to make peace with God, which I totally agreed. I remember even that having breakfast, I didn't want to, what I thought it was giving up so easily. So in my mind, I said, I'm going to give the fight, or fight the fight. And I asked him, I don't remember what, but 3 times. And the 3 times, Carlos continued having breakfast, opened his Bible, pointed a verse at me, and then he said, read it. And I remember reading the verse in the Bible. I remember him having breakfast, and I remember the most important thing, that what I was reading was the answer to my question. My question was so irrelevant that I don't remember even what it was. I just wanted to be like I'm an interesting man, and I'm a very smart one, and I don't remember that. So after 3 times, I realized that if I continue, I would appear ridiculous. So I stopped making questions, and then Carlos said, "Okay, you need to make peace with God. You need to accept what Christ did for you at the cross, and you need to accept Christ in your heart." It was so clear to me that precisely that was the answer to my life, that I imagined you needed to have a big ceremony. And being a lawyer, I know nobody's perfect, but I am a lawyer. So being a lawyer, I said, okay, we have to make an appointment. I have to wear a tie, a jacket, something. And I took out my agenda to make an appointment. And then Carlos said, no, we can just pray here. here at the table. And I doubted it. So what is this? What is this? So easily. Okay, so I said, yes, let's do that. And I remember that precisely when he started praying for, and I followed his words in my mind. The waiter was coming and asking if we needed more bread or something. But I in my mind, only in my mind, I said, get out of here, because I wanted to pay attention. I followed and I made that prayer. I was expecting like angelic voices or bells dinging something, and nothing happened. So, but I received a booklet, the Gospel of John in a very small version, and then Carlos said, read it, and we can talk over it next week. And I said, next week? No, this is for now. I need to read it now, and we have to talk now. But then I go to my work. I went to my work. I put the gospel in my pocket, and I remember that I was anxious to get home very early that night. And as soon as I came back to my house, I started reading. And I didn't understand the word because, it begins like trabalenguas, ¿cómo se dice? Trabalenguas? How do you say?
Tongue twister.
Yes, tongue twister. No, in Spanish is like tongue twister. But I don't know. I started and I got to the verse of John 4:14. And more or less it says that whoever is come and have from this water, whoever drinks of this water will never thirst. Yeah, and I said, this is what I need. I'm thirsty. My spirit, my soul is thirsty. So I started reading, and I started bothering Carlos a lot, with many questions, and I started attending the Bible studies, and then I started a personal study with him, a discipleship, and I remember also attending prayer meetings on Sundays, and my life started changing. I had still a lot of financial problems, but I wasn't worried of that anymore. I could sleep at night. That night, I went to bed, and I remember that night I didn't wake up during the night. I woke up until next day. I remember I had this yellow post-its on my bed desk and a pen, because you remember that I was getting rich at that time. So I had many good ideas when I was sleeping, but I didn't want them to forget them. So I had this post-it and a pen to write all those ideas down, so I could get rich next morning. And I have to confess that not one of those ideas worked. I'm still poor. But it was. I realized that rich is not a man that has money. Rich is a man that has the best gift he can ever have. That is the salvation that Jesus Christ gives us freely. You don't have to be rich to have that salvation. On the contrary, you get rich when you receive the salvation. That's the real wealth that I treasure, is treated like a treasure right now. And then life went on, and I remember that my wife didn't didn't want to submit to God. At that time, she had some doubts. The worst fights that we ever had in our marriage were during my first year of walking with Christ. And I remembered that I was really in love with Christ. And I remember several times coming to Carlos and saying, Carlos, I really love God. I really want to serve God. But I have a problem. And her name is Patricia. She won't let me serve God.
Okay.
I was expecting him to understand my suffering and advise me, okay, get divorced. You find another one and just serve God. And I was expecting that. You know what he always would answer me? He would answer me, love her. You know how bad time that produced in me? And love her? How can you love somebody that is against you? And finally, I realized that was Christ lived. He loved the ones that were against him. And the people who was against Christ killed him. So what I learned is, and what I decided is, it was, before she kills me, I will love her. and then after that, I was praying. Karina was really generous with us, with Patricia, because she would also give Patricia Bible studies, discipleship, and clarify all her doubts. And it was a really precious time. Then we started participating in the pastorelas. What's the name of
Christmas plays.
Christmas plays. You saw in the first one or the second one, our oldest boys. Then Ana Paula and Maria Esther. And one of the verses that also made a change in my life is that the kids are blessings from God. And then talking with Carlos, we said, I just have 2 blessings. God, give me more. And God heard, and we have 2 more blessings, Ana Paula and Maria Esther. And well, we started having some studies at home as well, following what you all know in here with Carlos. And I was just confirming him, Carlos, a few minutes ago, that our ministry, my personal call for serving God is precisely having a personal service to Him, sharing the gospel, sharing the good news of salvation with everybody, and helping people, walking with people through life to make an impact for God's kingdom.